welcome to Geekology. I'm David Zabelia.
And I'm Sven Harvey.
And today we're going to do another Transformers Masterpiece. Now, they've produced a few of these and they are lovely over the years.
Yeah.
The one we're doing today is called Black Convoy.
Yes. And Optimus Prime has joined us. This is MP-10 Optimus Prime, the Japanese release of this mould, just for comparison purposes more than anything.
Okay. Well, I must confess, when you were opening it up, I had about a million questions. So
fire away. We can come to him in a minute.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, I have a sneaky suspicion I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you. Right. Transformers, big robots, come to Earth, see our vehicles, scan our vehicles, so that's why they've got cabs in where people can jump in and drive them around. Ignoring the fact that these are toys. So, why does Prime have a cab and then a trailer part that has a little car in it with a man? Now, I remember there was a reason there was humans, so fair enough, you know, we've always had humans, but why does Prime have a car?
Okay. Right, this is where it gets all the way back into Diaclone again.
I knew that. I had a sneaky suspicion that was going to be it. Because that's going to lead to my second question, but go for that one.
One of the things about Diaclone was the characters weren't characters as such. They were literally just mechs. So they all have pilots.
Right, so the characters were actually going to be
the pilots, essentially. So, for instance, Battle Convoy, which is the one that became Optimus Prime, came with
so 80s.
Yeah. Came with at least 2 or 3 pilots, so he could have one in his cab, one.
Yeah, because I was about to say this little bit here obviously has a seat for somebody, and there's 2 other seats in here.
Yeah,
so
as well as the ones on roller.
As well as the ones on that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, this brings me to the next silly question of what the hell is this actually meant to be?
Right. Well, sometimes it's referred to as the battle platform. And
I don't see any weapons, so it can't be a battle platform.
The original toy, these were missile launchers. So it fired out missiles.
That's an awful big space to waste for a missile launcher when half of these guys are running around with cannons that are this big strapped to their arms.
There is that. Now, it was more introduced as a repair bay in the car.
I'll explain the arm.
Yeah. So if you look at it as a repair bay, and actually...
yeah, because they could wheel up into here and then be repaired.
Now, one of the things about Roller is Roller was an original toy and was basically Prime's scout car.
Why does he need a scout car?
Oh, this is the clever thing. This was never really explained either in the comic or the TV show very well. In fact,
it's going to be a bio card.
Oh yes, a bio card thing. One of the we only actually really explored in one British comic story.
Okay.
Which basically Optimus Prime isn't him. That's just one part of Optimus Prime.
Oh god, this is going to be a joint consciousness thing, isn't it?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
Optimus Prime consists of the command unit, the trailer, and the scout car, which is nicknamed Roller.
I love the fact that they had Bluetooth in the 80s. How amazing is that?
Well, yeah, he basically had super Wi-Fi.
Did they have that thing as well of if they were too far apart, everything got sluggish and sort of
No,
down?
actually.
No?
No, he was got the Matrix in his chest. He's probably using that as a booster.
Okay.
But one of the cool things about that is it was made very clear that if the trailer or Roller was injured, the command unit would feel it
as well.
Yeah,
okay.
And though the command unit could survive if either of these were destroyed, if the command unit is destroyed, they're all dead.
Okay, alright, I can jump on board with that. Right, okay, I have to ask this because this makes no sense to me. I know for a fact that one of the characters in the Transformers is a medic.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Ratchet?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
There's one of them at least, yes.
Oh, was there a few?
Yeah, well, kind of Wheeljack and Hoist could be seen as medics. They were, but not doctors.
So if you've got Transformers that are medics and doctors and engineers or repairers or whatever, why does the command unit have a repair station? That's ridiculous.
Well,
oh, don't tell me this is real. Okay, go on then. Let's hit. This is going to be a good one.
One explanation that can be looked into is again, ignoring the cartoon for a second because they went their own way.
Yeah.
But some of the backstory for Optimus Prime suggested that one, he was in the gladiatorial arena with Megatron.
Gladiatorial arena?
Yeah, there was gladiatorial games on Cybertron. At one
okay,
point.
alright.
But he was also a medical student.
Okay, yeah.
Which kind of makes sense.
And aren't all the Primes born to... not born, but created to be leaders?
This is where it gets very confusing. Up until...
I'm so glad you didn't say that was a Michael Bay thing. I really am. I thought that was where you were going to go.
We won't go there, but what he did with the Primes. Basically, up until quite recently, and I'm talking about 10 years ago really, when they started changing things, retrofitting
revisionist history.
The only Autobot that was supposed to rise from the ranks to light the darkest hour was Hot Rod, to become Optimus Prime. He was the only one that taking in the Matrix would change.
Okay.
That was how it was originally written. However, when they were writing that story, the cartoon series also went with the whole suggestion that Optimus Prime used to be a character called Orion Pax.
Yeah.
Now, being as Prime is a title as such, because the Prime is the commander of the Autobots, the leader, and has the Matrix. It kind of makes sense that he had a different name before he was in command.
The articulation is quite
cool. But the problem is in the comic is he never had a name change. So even when he's depicted before he became the leader, he was still called Optimus Prime. So again, this was all something that got changed from 1986 onwards to a certain degree. The Orion Pax episode was actually involving the aerial bots. So though it was technically season 2 of the cartoon series, it was actually part of the 1986 Rangers introduction that it happened. So yeah, it was all tied in again with Hot Rod and Optimus Prime.
I can hear our regular viewers right now going, "Don't let him transform it."
So yeah, it's quite an interesting backstory for Optimus Prime. So one of the ideas was that before he was commander of the Autobots, and in fact before he joined the army, he was supposed to be a student of Ratchet's under one version of the storyline.
That clipping, whilst that's in that mode.
Yeah, you can just
push it, yeah?
Right, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't try to say that. Are they spring loaded? They feel spring loaded.
They have a thing that pulls the feet up. It's a ratcheting thing.
Okay. There we go. Well, that's quite nice.
Yes.
Alright then. Okay, I think people have had enough of my silly questions. I'm just curious as to how many people are going, "We know this, come on."
Actually, one of the cool things they've done, because Roller always seemed a little bit pointless in the past, to a degree, other than just, popping out and doing scouting missions every so often. In fact, I think he only ever did one scouting mission in the cartoon series.
Well, wouldn't he have been able to tow the trailer?
The original toy couldn't do that. This one can.
Oh, okay.
So it's something they've added on, which is quite cool. So
see, that makes common sense to me that it would be able to pull it.
Yeah. I mean, in the cartoon series, you actually see Buffer pull the trailer once, which is a mini bot who turned into a truck. So you had the whole scale issue going on there as well. But
it's actually not particularly a toy thing, but quite a geek thing in a way. I quite like some of the new trucks that are coming out. That well, it's not actually the truck. The truck just has a nice catch point to it. But they come with their own little mini forklifts specifically designed to unload the main. Yeah, I've seen a few of them on the motorways recently where the little forklift is actually on the back of the truck, and when you lower the back door down, it comes off.
Okay.
And then they use that to unload the vehicle, and then you just straps back on.
Makes sense.
Idea. So this is
So that's something they've added with the Masterpiece release.
That's nice.
So it's quite cool, and makes sense where the trailer now goes.
Okay, so let's get on to the main.
Let's get out Black Convoy. Check him out in comparison.
Now you're gonna tell me here that Black Convoy is basically Prime in black, aren't you?
Essentially, yes. I mean, his British-American name tends to be Nemesis Convoy, or Nemesis Prime, rather. So...
I love the red cab.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Is this one of those the bad guys always have red eyes thing with the cab? Or?
Yes. Now the interesting thing is that Nemesis, in one version of the story at least, Nemesis Prime is Optimus Prime.
Oh, okay.
Who's basically been dealt with and brought back to life. So he's an undead Prime, essentially. So he's a zombie.
No, see, not going to surprise me on that one because being big into my zombies, I read the Zombie Transformers as part of the Star Trek zombie range. So yes, I read that whole range of comics. So I'm not jumping on board with the zombie thing. I didn't jump on board with the zombie thing when they tried to pitch the story. It's like, no, there are not cannibalistic Transformers running around. And then in my head I was like, well, actually, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I'm sure that'll fit.
Actually, in the British Generation 1 comic, they did have zombie Transformers turn up. Where basically all the dead bodies from the war were reactivated by a radio signal from this complete nutcase of a scientist called Flame.
Transformer.
Yeah.
Nutter.
Yeah, okay. Who basically decided that Megatron's plan to turn Cybertron into a mobile battle station made sense, and decided to actually build, or rather find and reactivate the engines that Megatron had actually already built by that point, apparently.
Oh, okay. As always, the photos used in the video will also be on the website if you want to see a higher resolution copy of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, dead Matrix in there, if I can get it in properly, which is easier said than done, I would have heard. I'll put this in the right way round. Should be the same.
Packaging is beautiful on
Yeah.
these masterpieces.
I mean, they're kind of gone halfway on the packaging for the UK releases now, as we saw with Soundwave.
Yeah, see, I don't quite understand the concepts because they write so much of it in English for the front.
Yeah.
But on the back, although the name is obviously in English, it's all Japanese.
Yeah.
And I'd have thought they'd go for sort of like a 50-50 split if they're trying to cross-market.
Well, this is the thing, they're not technically allowed to cross-market.
Are they not?
No, because outside Japan and a few territories over in that part of the world, Hasbro look after everything. In fact...
it's one of those.
Yeah, in fact, in Hong Kong, bizarrely, and in Australia, you can find Takara releases that have been distributed by Hasbro. So it's quite weird. I cannot get this to fit in properly, so we'll take it out.
Let me have a quick. Oh, we'll watch you sob as you hear crunching plastic.
Check inside.
Is that spring-loaded, that clip
No.
piece that it goes, so it quite literally just pushes
Hits
into...
in, yeah.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Oh, that's why. It's upside down.
Please tell me you saw that video.
What? No,
For
yeah,
the Vinnie
Citron,
Jones. There you go.
Or not.
Why not? We'll try this one more time. If I can get at you, I don't think
The gap should be on the top, not the bottom, like you'd think.
I think I put it in the wrong. I can't get it out.
Let's leave Prime there for a moment.
Let's leave Prime there. He did, Jim.
Worse than that. No, don't. It's the black and white version of No. Could have been worse. Have you ever seen the Japanese after film trailery thing they did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. Let's drop the convoy in the middle of the Japanese harbour. No, don't do that. It's evil. There we go.
Don't do that. Godzilla might get him.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to a new Godzilla film.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to Prime basically riding on the back of a Godzilla-sized Grimlock.
I don't know. I saw the artwork for that, and two things occurred to me.
Yeah.
Damn, that looks cool. And B, how much will this make Sven's head explode?
Well, there is that. The funny thing is they've done a kids range that are actually called Dino Riders.
Dino Riders,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. So they must own the rights to Dino Riders now or something. I don't know. It's
No.
mad.
Okay.
Absolutely crazy. But there we go. There's the two guys with their matrices show.
Ooh, Matrices.
Matrices.
Ooh.
Yes, both Matrix. But that's quite cool. But anyway,
Yeah, Prime does look good in black. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these guys do look stunning. You'll probably notice as well, those of you who are paying particular attention that I've added the G2 versions of the logos to the
You add
shoulder.
those stickers to everything. So
Why
I've
yeah.
gotten so used to seeing them now that I don't really...
Well, those who have been really careful with what they can see can also see these auto-assembly style logos as well. So, yeah. Because I had those made about 10 years ago for my
And how many of those have you worked through now? A lot.
Yeah. There's his axe as well. Now Optimus came with an orange version of that, which I unfortunately don't have with me.
Yes, I know that was
cool.
something that got me ridiculed when I saw the film, because the first thing I went with was the axe is the wrong colour. At which point the people I was sitting with went, ooh.
And as with all Masterpiece releases from Japan, you get a collector's card.
Yeah.
And and in this case, quite a nice colour booklet, which actually has on the back of it all.
Do they do a sort of online version of the cards? Because I'm sort of thinking for like Android tablets where you can just sort of scroll through and see them. But I
don't
thought somebody
think
did
so.
that.
I mean, what you will find is translated versions running around.
Are they
which is quite
decently translated?
They tend to be people who know both Japanese and English who do the translations and slightly anglicise it as well, just to make a little bit more sense.
Well, because they have a different. They have a different structure. Yeah. I was going to say sentence structure, but yeah. It's
but this is, I mean, as usual, it's quite a nice leaflet. It actually says Dead Matrix in there as well. Battle Axe, Laser Blaster, Dead Matrix, so on and so forth. So that's quite cool. But the back actually tells you about all of the different Black Convoy / Nemesis Prime toys they've done. Which actually, the first one they ever did was Dark Leo Convoy, which is quite strange. And then they did Dark Big Convoy, and then they did the black version of the G1 Optimus Prime as an exclusive. So that's quite fun. We'll take photos of that as well as the rest of the toy for you.
Well, it's just what you expect from the masterpieces. To be fair, see, this is kind of one of the down points to us doing the masterpieces. Is well, I mean, let's face it. You pretty much know what you're getting with the masterpiece. With the Japanese ones, they're gonna be right.
Yeah. I mean, one of the
problems the artwork's always lovely.
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems with say Soundwave is that I preferred the Hasbro edition because of the eye colour thing. Is that the manual was just a fold-out piece of paper.
See, I've got to admit, I think when you start slapping names on things like Masterpiece, you expect it to be the same across the board. So the fact they tweak them, and like they tweak them with the Soundwave, where you've got the different cassettes and all the rest of it. I mean, it's kind of nice you get different regions, but on the other hand, when you say it's a masterpiece, it really should be a masterpiece.
Yeah. Interestingly, remember we said that Grimlock was probably the best of the early of the masterpieces up until the end of last year.
Yes.
They're reissuing him in the States and hopefully in the UK because they know they've restarted the numbering system for the Western releases.
Yeah.
So Acid Storm was MPO1, Soundwave was MPO2, well MPO3 is going to be Grimlock, which makes sense because he's going to be in the new movie. Obviously quite different looking Grimlock, but but one of the things that does worry me about that is the shots we've seen from Toy Fair where it was displayed for the first time. It was in red version of the box we got for Soundwave, which is quite nice, which makes sense. But the plastic quality in the pictures does seem to be
prototypes.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing is though, would it be a prototype at this stage because they've already issued it once?
I don't know. I've seen a few. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean it might be a test shot, but the plastic they used to make him, one looks like a lighter colour and two looks very much thinner, which is kind of a shame. I just hope when it actually comes out it's still up to the same grade as the first issue of the Hasbro one. So right, what we'll do is we'll give a quick transformation of both these guys so we can compare them in truck mode as well.
And welcome back to another episode of Educating David on Transformers. So, now, whilst you were turning these into their truck form, which was quite entertaining to watch, I have to say, something occurred to me.
Yeah.
And I want you to answer it without saying the cost would be ridiculous or they're planning on doing that just to gouge that extra money out of people. Why doesn't the black one have a trailer?
To be honest, it'd be a case of I don't think people would buy it because it would be more expensive. Because the thing is this was a limited run version. So if...
Would the trailer for him have been black as well?
Yeah. But just to confuse things, in Generation 2 Prime's trailer was black. So
did you also have Night Industries down?
No. I mean, this is Goliath. Let's be honest.
It is. Yeah.
It is Goliath. It's simply a case of because this was a more limited release, the price was higher. So
it didn't do a trailer for it.
No, they didn't do a trailer for it. I would imagine that if they'd done this with a trailer, to get it over to here would have been about £250, maybe £300.
So I take it that this one...
That one was sold for about 200 in this country, whereas the British issue of it was 100.
Right. Okay. Alright. I had a sneaking suspicion that was going to be the answer.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
You go.
But it does look really nice in that colour scheme, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not disputing the look of it.
But maybe, I mean, this is the thing, is at the end of the day, it's the same toy.
Yeah.
So it's really probably only for the completists only. Or people who like their black repaints or collect just Decepticon versions of the moulds. At the end of the day, if you've managed to pick up the British version or the American version of this, you'll probably be quite happy with that. Because there isn't a great deal of difference between the Japanese and the American versions and that. If anything, people might prefer the American one to a degree because of the eyes being brighter, because this does have a tendency to have sort of dead eye sort of look to it because it's blue plastic but without any lighting or any light piping.
Yeah.
So it does look
so it is literally just stuff.
Yeah. I mean, from a critical point of view, one thing I would have changed with this is again the eyes in robot mode I would have made a brighter red. So nothing major. Both versions of the mould do have one particular niggle, which is the first finger falls off if you're not careful.
Okay.
Because it's just held in with a little...
A steel pin?
Yeah, well it's not a steel pin, it's just a plastic...
Oh, is it pegging system?
Thing, yeah. So, you know, that's if you're not careful that can pop off. But, you know, other than that, it's still... The Prime's a great toy, and if you want the black version as well, go for it, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with it really other than that finger.
And do you feel that it actually warrants the recommended retail price?
For someone who is that much into Prime or that much into the masterpieces, then yes, it probably is. The majority of fans probably isn't. And I can imagine some people picking up a second one of these and repainting them and making that work out cheaper than getting one of these to a degree. So, you know, it all depends. And this is the thing, is because this was a limited release, there aren't that many of them running around. So, yeah.
So, anything else you want to cover before we call it a night?
Absolutely. I'm going to leave it there. That's worth a purchase if you've got a chance.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching. You can subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And of course there's the official website for the higher resolutions. All the links are down below, blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much for watching and have a good night. Good night.
Bye.